Hello?
Yes, my son. Adam Peterson this side.
What are you doing?
I was having a meeting. My boss called me yesterday. That's why I left my office. Left my cabin.
You left your cabin. You left your cabin because your boss, just in the middle of conversation, you just leave. You just leave in the middle of conversation.
The word I use cabin just because we all use this word here.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Not in the United States, we do not.
You haven't visited the U.S. Marshal Office yet, okay? If you have, then you must know that.
It doesn't matter.
That's why I'm telling. Okay.
We don't use that in the United States. No.
Is it that important that we are having a conversation on cabin?
When you're talking about how you're going to represent somebody in a court, yes, absolutely it is.
I'm not going to represent you or anybody else in front of the courthouse.
You're drawing up charges on me.
Attorney. That will be the attorney of yours who will be representing you in front of the courthouse, not me. Okay?
Well, you're drawing up charges on me, are you not? Obviously, if you can't differentiate between cabin and office and your location, then you wouldn't know the difference between cocaine and baby powder. That's what bothers me.
Okay.
And you wouldn't know that a car rental company wouldn't rent a car that's as old as 2003. You wouldn't know something like that. And you wouldn't know that you don't need a social security number. You wouldn't know that you don't need a social security number to rent a vehicle. But that's okay. Go ahead. Continue. What's the next thing you need me to know?
The car which we have found from the El Paso, okay, was registered on your name, ma'am. Okay? We have the registration with us.
How is a rental car registered in my name?
Your social information has been compromised on this, okay? I believe.
But isn't it registered to rental car company?
Organization or some
Wouldn't it be registered to Hertz?
Have sold your personal information like your name, your photograph, your social number, along with the photocopy of your driving license. Okay? That's how they have registered a car on your name.
Okay.
Okay?
So the rental car company registered a vehicle under my name.
Yeah, and whoever passed on your information to the rental car service, I believe that's not you, okay? But someone else did that. But that is what is happening here. Okay, Nissan? I'm not accusing you for anything, okay? I didn't tell you that you are the criminal and we are taking you into custody.
You got a warrant for me, so that's obvious that's what you're trying to do.
If we don't catch anyone, or if we don't catch the real culprit, okay, apart from taking you into custody and putting you in the detention, we don't have any other option, okay? Because that's how it works. Because all the evidence, okay, is pointing on your name, is pointing out to you, okay? And we have the authority to take you into custody, okay, in order to
which credit card was used to rent the car?
Follow the procedure.
Which of my credit cards was used to rent the car?
Not by credit card, but it was fully paid cash.
You can't rent a car with cash.
Yeah, we can. Okay, if a person who is able to pull up money laundering for $1.2 million of wire transfers from United States to country like Mexico.
Which rental car company was it?
Is capable. Jacobs and Mark.
What? Never heard of him.
Jacobs and Mark Rental Services. Of course, you haven't heard about that company because that is in El Paso, Texas now. Okay, and you said that you haven't visited to Texas, El Paso, or Texas.
I've said I've been to Texas. I didn't say I haven't been to Texas.
are you well aware about the locality of El Paso? I can see that you are well aware about the locality. Uh-huh.
No,
That's nice. That's good.
I've been to Texas.
No, you just told me that you haven't. You just told me that you don't never heard about this company because that is registered in El Paso. That company is registered with the El Paso, Texas. Okay, and I am believing that you are well aware about the residential areas, also the nearby store in the El Paso, because you know the name of each and every stores which is in El Paso, right?
Nope.
You just told me that
No, I didn't tell
that
you
you
that.
haven't heard about the. You just told me that you haven't heard about the rental company's name.
No, normally everybody hears a Hertz, Enterprise, things like that. Those are rental car companies.
Then why did you tell me that you haven't heard about this? If you are that sure that you know every rental services nearby.
I didn't say I'm sure of every rental
See,
service.
I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to argue with you, Miss Anne. Okay, let me do my job. Okay, and whatever I'm explaining to you or whatever information I'm passing on to you, okay, I received directly from the DEA office. Okay. Now, would you hear me or you're going to argue me, okay, on this topic?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. We have a case registered on your name, okay? As I told you earlier, we have a true press charges of money laundering and drug trafficking. Now I'll tell you how we got this case, okay? When the DEA and the U.S. Marshal Service conducted a joint operation
Can
in
I
the El
ask you
Paso,
why the
Texas,
Marshal Services
okay?
are involved?
Because this is a federal case, this is not a state case, okay? Because multiple
But shouldn't it be
countries has
FBI?
been
Shouldn't it be
involved in this
FBI?
case.
I'm not a fugitive. I'm not a fugitive.
You are not the fugitive, but the money which has been wire transferred from the United States to countries like Mexico and Colombia, then yes, this is a federal case, man.
It's not a federal case?
This is a federal case. Because we are involving two another country, Mexico and Colombia. Okay? These we have treaty signed with those countries, okay? And if you receive any sort of criminal activity or fraudulent activity from this case, then yes, this is a federal case, ma'am, for your information. Okay? Should I move forward?
What do the treaties have to do with me? I'm a United States citizen.
I don't think so. This is going to happen, Ms. Barber. Let me just give a fax to the local police department of yours, okay? And they're gonna have this headache. I'm not going to take this.
But you just said it's a federal case. You can't give it to my local police department.
Why I cannot involve you? Because if I'm not the right person who can come to your house, who will be going to pick you up, okay?
If you're federal, you are.
Because you are not a terrorist or you are not a terrorist or you are not a fugitive, okay? I cannot come to you directly, okay? That's the work and that's the responsibility and work of a police department.
But the
They
local
will be
police
picking you up from
can't
your
do
place.
anything with your federal warrant.
We will be going to pass on the federal warrant to them, okay?
You can't.
Don't worry about that.
You can't do that.
We can take you into custody for the investigation, okay? And I'm going to do that, okay? All I need to do is just give a fax to the
wait a
local
minute. You
police
can't take
department.
me.
That's
You can't
all.
take me into custody for an investigation.
I am going to, okay?
No, you can't for an
All I need to do
investigation.
is just fax them.
No, you have to. You can only take me in. You only can take me in once you have the solid concrete evidence. You can't take me in for an investigation.
You understanding, Miss Anne? I am the Assistant Director of Financial Services of
Okay.
U.S. Marshal Service. Okay? Yeah. Now, I am giving the local
What
police
about due
department the
process?
warrant, also
What about
the
due
fax.
process?
Uh-huh. What process?
Due process.
What process? Sorry?
Due process.
Mm-hmm.
What
Should I
about due
give them
process?
Okay. I have the confirmation of yours on this call, okay?
What about the
I'll give
probable
that.
cause? Who signed the probable cause warrant? Can you tell me
You will
which
get to know,
justice?
okay?
Can you tell me what justice signed the probable cause warrant?
You listen to me, okay? We
Uh-huh.
will be explaining you each and every details once you are here, okay? Then
No,
we
what?
will be having the
No, just
conversation
tell me
face to
what.
face,
I'll turn myself
okay?
in. Just tell me what justice signed the probable cause warrant.
You calm down. You, no. They will be providing you every warrant which you are looking for, okay?
Just
You will
tell
be having
me.
the
All
papers
you got to
and
do
all
is
the
tell
documents
me
with
what
you.
justice signed the probable
No.
cause
I'm not
warrant, and
going.
I'll turn myself in.
Mhm.
I'll drive myself
I'm
to the
not the
federal
right person who
courthouse.
can speak.
I'll drive myself to the federal courthouse if you tell me the
No.
justice that signed the warrant.
No worries. We have your number. We will track you down, okay?
You don't have
No
to
worries.
track me
You
down. I
can
said
go
I'll turn
wherever.
myself in if you tell me who signed the warrant.
Why do you care about that, man? Okay, now you are making
why
it
do I
suspicious
care?
on you, okay?
Why
now
do I
you
care
are,
who signed the warrant?
You
Well,
are
that's
making
very
it
important.
now you are making it suspicious, okay?
Can you?
The
Okay,
warrant has been
let me
signed
ask
from
you
the
one question. Can I ask you one question? Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Can you
You
name?
can.
Okay,
Please.
can you name me one? Just name me one Supreme Court justice.
See, Miss Anne,
I'm just
you're
asking you a question.
asking me
No.
questions,
I
okay?
just asked you a question. You're a
And
federal.
you are the criminal. You are
a
the suspect
U.S.
here.
marshal. You are a U.S. marshal. I'm asking you a simple question.
I cannot allow a
Name
suspect
me
to. I
one
cannot allow a
Supreme
suspect to
Court
ask questions
justice.
to me.
Name me one Supreme
I
Court
cannot
justice.
allow a suspect.
Okay.
Let's meet to
Okay,
the
I'm going to ask you another
office,
question.
okay?
I'm going to ask you a very easy question. Can I ask you a very easy question? You should be able to answer this if you truly are a U.S. Marshal. This is an easy question for you as a Marshal. What shape is the building? Is the Pentagon? What shape is it?
You don't know that, huh?
What shape is the Pentagon?
Do you know that? Do you know the
Yes.
answer?
Yes, I know the answer. What shape is the Pentagon?
That's right. Because we will be going to ask this question in the courthouse, okay? Then you have to answer to that. It's
The
good that
U.S.
you know
Pentagon.
the answer.
The U.S. Pentagon. What shape is it?
I'm not supposed to answer you, ma'am. Okay? I'm not supposed to. And I don't want to, also. If you know the answer, that's good for you, okay? Because you will be answering to this question in front of the prosecutor and to the jury members, okay? All the best for you.
Okay. Okay.
Have a nice day.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
Okay. Okay.